All right, let's get started here. We went to 4 stores in Denmark. We're gonna start here first with Tivoli. This was at the Tivoli Gardens in Copenhagen, right next to the park there. So the outside of this building, as you saw from the front, was really a really cool building. The windows were decorated with Lego figures and things like that. But we walked in, there was no line for this store, and it did get busier as we got there, but it wasn't opening. It was just a normal time of day, probably around 10 a.m. So anyway, it does have a really small bottom area with some Lego sets, as you can see here. They do have some of the new builds out and also some made out of Lego, but we decided that we should just go ahead and head upstairs to see what's up there. I was a little disappointed on the way up because a lot of Lego stores have mosaics on the way up. This was actually just like a wallpaper. Those aren't real Lego pieces, so a little bummed out there. So anyway, still pretty cool. Upstairs was probably just as small as the bottom. It was packed, and like most Lego stores, they had the minifigure what you could design. We did not have time. I wasn't too worried about it. I could just probably print my own at home on my UV printer. But anyway, here's the top of the store, just some other themes, nice little window you could look out, and another checkout. So they did have 2 checkout areas, which was kind of nice. So we decided just to go ahead and head back downstairs after this area, after we walked around to see some of the Lego builds. As you can see here in the corner, let me turn this around real quick here, and there you go. So they had a couple of the builds. They had animals and some lampposts and stuff that was pretty cool that I've never seen built out of Lego there. So, and the animals, which are pretty awesome. So anyway, that's what we got there for the Tivoli Gardens Lego store right next to Tivoli. Next, we hit up the Copenhagen store, just kind of the main store here. We are greeted by some Lego employees. They had some Lego friends sitting there. This was a very long and narrow store, and let me tell you, it was packed just like the other ones. Super hard to get around. Pretty typical of your Lego stores, like I've said, but this one was just very narrow and kind of obnoxious at times. But we went ahead and went through to see what was to the back. So let's go ahead and head on to the back to check out to see if there's a pick-a-brick wall. And as you can see, there it is. They had some new sets also that were built out. So let's head on back to the pick-a-brick wall. You can see here, we're just dodging people all the way to get back there, but it was a large wall, as you can see. I just show you some little builds there on the way back, but basically you can see that the pick-a-brick wall was pretty large for this store. They did have some great pieces. I did not have a lot of space and time to go through the pick-a-brick wall, so we just kind of looked at it to see what pieces they had. And here's a few pieces just up close here real quick that you can see. They had the masonry, which was pretty cool. I think they had a couple colors, so I wish I could have got some, but I guess there'll be another time. I'll have to hit one of our local Lego stores up to do that. But anyway, pretty large pick-a-brick wall for this store. Let me know your favorite Lego piece that you find on the pick-a-brick wall. I love finding the masonry. They're my favorite. That and tiles, so that's what I'm always looking for when I'm at the store. Next up, they did have a little section here that was built. It's kind of a Copenhagen style houses, and it's not with minifigures, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like Miniland. So check out my other videos here coming up about Miniland. But anyway, pretty cool addition to this store. So next we're going to move to one of my favorite stores. Here we go. Alright, the iconic Lego house in Billund. So this one I was super pumped, obviously because of right here. We got the Lego house exclusive sets. We did find the autographed wood duck by the designers, so we definitely snagged that. So I was super pumped to find these on the wall. Maybe some other time I can get the pirate, but each one had a different message. It was pretty cool. So I went through all of those and found the boxes that I liked. and got a couple of those, one to build and one to keep. Not a huge store, but with the exclusives, that just makes up for anything there. So, little tiny pick-a-brick wall area. I didn't look too close to what parts they were just because, like I said, time, space. I didn't really need to bring parts home. I was more excited about those exclusive sets. So, not a huge store, not super busy if you go after the place is closed. They're open late, so I'd recommend either hitting it up in the morning or late in the evening. All right, here we go. The world's largest Lego store in Legoland. So this store was just massive. You can see how long it is here, and I thought it wouldn't be too busy in there just because it's so big, but man, was I wrong. Wait till you see inside of this store. Probably the busiest Lego store that I've ever been into, and it's just massive. It just goes on and on. So here we go. We're gonna check this out. We will walk inside here, but where it is it's basically right where you come into Legoland. You can't miss it. It's the world's largest, like I said. So let's go ahead and head on inside of this store here. I mean, it just keeps going and going. So I'll show you the sign here to Legoland before we head on inside. All right, get ready for this. So here we go, we're inside. It doesn't look too bad, right? Well, I mean, there's just people everywhere going left and right and all over. There's every single theme in this store that you can think of. So it's just massive. They also had a ton of accessories, which was kind of cool. They basically had a lot of the plushies. They had minifigures from like older CMFs, maybe from like space era. They had those from the space CMF. They had just all sorts of things in stock that you could find. The pick-a-brick wall, it is the new style, as you can see here. So it is by weight because it is Legoland. So I definitely did not get any here, but I don't know if you've been to any of these with the weight, but they are kind of a bummer unless you need like 5 pieces. But anyway, we just keep going through here. It's not too busy back in the corner, so when we get back here, we will turn around and head all the way to the other side of the store, and you will see how busy it is. And let's just keep going. All right, coming up here, we have all the plushies. I thought these were pretty cool. These are always a family favorite, just all the different Lego plushies. I've never seen a lot of these before, so that was cool to see all of the different types of animals that they had for the plushies instead of the just normal ones you can find around here at Target once in a while and at the Lego store or on their website. So anyway, huge Star Wars section, but nothing rare or anything like that, just your basic stuff here. So let's keep going. You can see everyone's buying stuff. That guy bought the ship and everything. So, well, hold on. Let me slow down here real quick. This is one of the Lego House exclusives I showed off earlier. However, at Legoland, it was more expensive for some reason. I don't know why. You can walk maybe just not too far down the road and you can just grab it for cheaper. So I don't know why it's more expensive there. So anyway, it's busy, as you can see, as we've mentioned before, but I mean, there's just people everywhere. I did not want to get anything because of space and everything, and I got the Lego House exclusives, but check out this wall back here. This is the adults welcome. You can see all the black boxes. It looks awesome, but they had so many sets out, and you know how most Lego stores basically have, you know, kind of the newer ones. They don't stock the older ones anymore, but this one had a lot of the older ones too. So anyway, super cool adult welcome section, which I thought was pretty cool. And basically here we're gonna run into the checkout area. The checkout was super long. However, the line did go pretty fast because we did buy 2 of the plushies. So I did wait in line. It wasn't too bad. You can see there's tons of registers. So anyway, this is what it looks like here when you check out. Here's the line. It was way back here, but it didn't take long, maybe 5 to 10 minutes or so. Another cool part here you can see coming up is this Legoland section. So these are all exclusives to Legoland, If you've ever been to a Legoland, they do have some sets that are exclusive to just Legoland. I have a few of them. A lot of them are rides and things like that. So if you're interested, check those out when you do go to a Legoland. So we did end our trip here with the passport stamps. We had to get those. So if you don't have a passport, you should grab one, get them all stamped. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more Lego House, Legoland videos, and Lego Room tours. So anyway, hit the like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.